What is up, dudes and lady dudes? Welcome back to Just Dudes, guys. Today we've got more reveals. We literally just recorded the video with the first reveals because we waited like 2 hours for the rest of the reveals. We started the upload in probably less than 5 minutes.
It was about 30 seconds.
He's exaggerating, but less than 5 minutes after starting to upload the first video recorded, the rest of the cards got revealed. So we're gonna split it up. We're gonna do them separately. Whatever.
Reading them fresh?
Yeah, reading them fresh. I actually haven't even looked at. I saw that there's a new Sphinx card, which is dope. I love the Sphinx cards. They're really classic Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But
looks powerful. Also looks like it's gonna end up being underwhelming.
Come on, man. All right. Parryonic Guardian Sphinx. He's a level 8 Earth Rock effect monster. His attack is 2300, defense is 3000, so pretty beefy boy. Mm-hmm. And you can only use his second and third effects once per turn. First effect reads, once per turn you can change this face down, or change this card to face down defense position. So if he's face up, flip him face down. Oh, okay. Not half bad. I mean, kind of gives me some Subterror vibes. Second effect, if this card is flip summoned, shuffle all monsters your opponent controls back into the deck. Pretty strong, but I think a lot of things that need to be considered here is this is flip summoned. That's a big difference between being flip summoned and just flipped at all. So if your opponent attacks into this card, he will automatically flip up, and that's not a flip summon, so you won't get this effect to shuffle all your opponent's shit back. He has to survive all the way back until your next turn so that you can flip him up via a summon and then trigger his effect to shuffle everything back. So powerful effect, non-targeting, non-destruction removal is pretty good. Just a slow and like very easy to break through. I mean, your opponent could just eat some life points, but attack into this guy just so he doesn't get that flip summon. I don't know. It's fine. And his third effect reads, if this card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can special summon one level 5 rock monster from your hand or deck in face down defense position, namely the other Sphinx cards. I mean, most of them are level 5s, most of them are flip monsters, so you just summon them face down and roll from there. So he's fine. At the end of the day, I think he's fine. I think the big thing that this is missing, and I made a video a couple weeks ago talking about how main deck boss monsters need to be good in Yu-Gi-Oh! They need to, 1, extend themselves very easily. Summon themselves from the hand if you draw them. Number 2, they need to have strong removal effects and or disruption effects. He has a strong effect, it's just not reliable, because if your opponent can just flip him instead of letting him flip summon, done, no effect. And the last thing is they need to have some kind of bonus effect, most likely, to give them a little something extra. He does flip himself back down, so he does reload himself, so that's nice, and he floats. So he has the bonus effect, he just doesn't have the strong disruption removal effect, and he doesn't have a way to summon himself. How are you putting a level 8 Earth Rock on the field? Thank you.
I got one question.
Yeah.
Why does it say you can only use this card?
You can only use this card's name second and third effects once per turn.
But why does it
Second
say that,
and
and then on the first one is just a once per turn anyway? Why
It's a
doesn't it
soft
just say,
once per turn.
So what's the difference?
Soft once per turn has specific rulings where if a monster, like in this specific instance, either 1 leaves the field, then comes back, he could actually activate it again in the same turn. Because it's now being like counted as like a new monster entered the field, so he can activate again.
Gotcha.
Same principle. If he flipped himself down, flipped back up, he could actually flip himself back down, because being flipped down and flipped up actually also counts as being like a new monster entering the field of play. So you could do it more than once in a turn because it's a soft once per turn.
Now, does that make his effect more powerful?
Slightly.
But are you impressed?
No. We're skipping him. We're done with him. He's underwhelming. I was hoping he'd be cool, because like I was hoping Konami would give like a classic Sphinx monster. Yeah, give a Sphinx monster like some cool effects. Unfortunately, no. Moving on from here, though, we have Dark Eye Nightmare.
This is looking promising.
Level 4 Dark Fiend effect monster. 17/17, so the stats are actually kind of decent for a level 4. You can only use his first effect once per turn. And his first effect reads, you can banish up to 3 traps from your graveyard. Then apply this effect based on the number banished. The first effect reads, draw 1 card, then place 1 card on your hand back on top of your deck. The second effect says just draw 1 card. And the third effect says draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card. Okay. And the second effect says once per turn, if this card would be destroyed by battle, you can banish 1 trap from your graveyard instead.
This almost seems like it sets up a strategy.
It kind of does, but it needs to be a strategy that, like, gets really easy access to him. Like, just puts him on the field super easily. The biggest problem I see with this guy right out the gate is his best effects is the first effect, right? Getting those draw effects. He only can get access to that if you have at least 1 trap in grave. Going first, you're not putting traps in grave. Like turn 1 at least, you're not putting traps in grave. You're going to put them in, if you're playing a trap-based deck, you'll have them in grave for your next turn. But like, no deck needs a card that's ready to work on your 3rd turn. Like you need cards that can work right out the gate and get things going. Or worst case scenario, if he was a quick effect that could activate on your opponent's turn to like draw you cards, that would be a little bit something better. But I don't know.
So is there anything that can get him out there early that you could see building into the deck?
Not right now. I don't think there's anything that really makes great use of him. I mean, fuck, man. If you have 3 traps in grave and you can use him, then that's great, and that's really strong to draw 2 and discard a card. That's a good effect. I mean, it's just a straight up +1, and you also get to discard something at grave. So if you had something that gives you graveyard synergy, you get to dump a card that you want. Overall, very underwhelming. I don't see how he really brings an archetype together. He's just kind of just underwhelming, but whatever.
But the art's cool.
The art is cool. I think both arts are cool so far. Definitely. All right, moving on, we have another spell. We have 1 Curry Way. It's a normal spell card. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. Target 1 link monster in either graveyard. Shuffle it into the extra deck, or special summon it to the owner's field.
Does shuffling it into the extra deck do anything more than putting it into the extra deck?
No.
Okay.
This card's good. I mean, it's or. So, like, nobody's doing this. Nobody's doing this. Everybody's doing this. You're going to summon a link monster. A lot of decks that go through link monsters link Klein. They go through 1 link monster, then link up into another one, and then you just have this card. Boom. Summon back that link monster I went through earlier. Gets you more bodies on field to link up with. And you could do something like make an IP Masquerena, link up into something so it has destruction protection, then just reborn the Masquerena, and now the Masquerena is live to be a disruption on your opponent's turn.
Now, why would you ever pull anything out of your opponent's graveyard if it goes to their own field?
You wouldn't.
But why is that an option?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
I mean, technically it makes the card slightly more versatile, that it just can do slightly other things. You probably won't do them, but it's kind of the same thing as shuffling into the extra deck. You're probably not doing this, but theoretically there could be a situation where that's actually better.
But if they had the worst card ever, they already put it in their graveyard, and you want it out on the field, still not very likely.
No, you're still probably just reborning your own stuff, but it's another monster reborn card. I mean, that's what it is. It's for links, so you're only playing this in a link-heavy strategy, but there's a lot of decks that just go through a link super early in their combo, and that's pretty cool. I mean, I think of something like Trap Tricks. Any deck that has like a link 1 monster that's so easy to get out right away.
Chris is going to be hyped about this.
Maybe. I don't know. Very good card. This is actually a really bomb card. I didn't expect this one to be good. I didn't expect these 2 to be Suckage Magoo and this card to actually be bomb.
Based on the trend, if the art's good, the effect's bad.
We'll see.
And vice versa.
All right. Next up we have...
What's your prediction, good or bad?
Good. It's funky, and I think that could be good. Okay. This is Star Mine. This is a level 4 fire pyro synchro effect monster. Weird design, but I'm about it. It has 2,000 attack. What?
Firework hands.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. 2,000 attack, 200 defense. So small booty, high attack. They just had a little typo here with the defense. His materials are completely generic. Any tuner plus any non-tuner, which is nice. And you can only special summon him once per turn. The first effect reads, if this card is destroyed by battle with an opponent's attacking monster or is destroyed by an opponent's card effect while in its owner's possession. I don't know why that needed to be so many words. That could have been, if this card's destroyed by an opponent's card, do this. I don't know why they put all those extra words in there.
Throw them out there.
You take 2,000 damage, then inflict 2,000 damage to your opponent. Okay, so just everybody's taking 2,000.
So
Fine.
if they're under 2,000, that's game ending.
Same for you.
Yeah, but you wouldn't do that when you're under 2,000.
It's not a mandatory effect. Or it is a mandatory effect. If it's destroyed, it automatically triggers for 2,000, 2,000. There's no you can. It just says you take.
So you don't put this out on the field unless you're pretty confident.
Yeah.
You have the upper hand.
Right.
Gotcha.
Second effect says if your monster in a in a monster zone adjacent to this card is destroyed by battle with an opponent's attacking monster or an opponent's card effect, destroy this card, and if you do, take 2,000 damage, then inflict 2,000 Next card. Next card. Secret Hot Springs of the Far East is a field spell card you can only activate one per turn. The first effect reads, once per turn during the main phase 2, specifically main phase 2. Okay. The turn player can gain 500 life points, and if they do, apply these effects for the rest of this turn. All of them? That player's normal and special summons cannot be negated. Okay. The activation of that player's cards and effects that include an effect that special summons a monster cannot be negated.
Okay.
And that player's opponent cannot target that player's set spell or trap cards with card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by that player's opponent's card effects.
You gonna use it?
No.
Probably.
A card like this is like really interesting. I just think like at the end of the day, these protection effects are a little bit specific. It's only stuff that's exactly negating a summon, which is like only solemns at this point in the game right now, like that's played at all, or cards that negate a card effect that would summon a monster, which again is like a little bit underplayed right now. You don't see a ton of negates running around right now. It's mainly stuff that's like removal effects, not as much negation. Maybe in a more negate heavy format this is more interesting, but for right now, it's just an interesting protection effect. And also keep in mind, this only triggers during main phase 2, so if you want to do anything before your battle phase, this card gives you no protection for that. This is only from the main phase 2 and for the rest of the turn. So, meh.
What?
And the last card here that I don't expect to be very good. We have a lot of cards that have these goblin guys.
Bomb.
Oh yeah. It's Fukubiki. It's a normal trap card. Each player shuffles their deck, and if they do, excavate the top cards of each deck and compare their attack.
You spelled that. You pronounced that wrong.
What?
Fuck you, Beaky.
Oh.
Yeah.
Monsters with question mark attack and spell and trap cards are treated as 0 attack monsters. If one card has the higher attack than the other, add it to its owner's hand. And if you do, send the card with the lower attack to the graveyard. If their attacks are equal, place them both on the bottom of the deck. How good do you think this card is, Gavin?
Pretty suck.
That's right, Gavin. It's pretty suck. Yeah, this card's whack. I mean, all these cards are. There's like plenty of cards that have these like specific goblin guys on them, and they're just kind of like cheese cards. They're just like for fun, like cheesy, annoying cards. But it's not good at all. At all. So bad.
Yeah.
Just horribly bad.
Good.
Really good. Really good. Bad and bad. So yeah, that's it. I'm glad we at least had one card, although I didn't tell Gavin this, but generally this is how the end of core sets tend to work. They'll save 10 to 15 cards at the end of the set that they haven't revealed, and it's kind of just a mishmash of random cards. Like, none of these cards have synergy with each other. They're just kind of random, weird cards they threw out there. But there's always some that definitely are up here. Book of Lunar Eclipse in the last video.
They keep it interesting. But they
one
also,
curry way, right? Like, they just throw random cards like these in there, and then you're just like, garbage, 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 and then you're just like, whoa, that's just Monster Reborn for a link. That's pretty good.
About the art, though, I love that they use the link arrows as their weapons.
This art?
Yeah.
That's just their tail.
Oh.
They're little, like, Karibo guys with tails, and they have the link arrows on the tail.
Yeah, but I like that. It's a nice little detail.
Well, all right. Gavin does not know Link Karibo, clearly. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here, guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Let me know in the comment section down below which card is your favorite. I mean,
and if you disagree, you're wrong.
If you don't pick one curry way, tell me why you're wrong in the comment section down below. Because, yeah. I mean, just like, yeah. It's good, and the rest are no. So, That's going to do it for us here. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more news videos in the future. And yeah.
Just nuts.
Just nuts.